evening, good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. We'll do sports news, start today, and maybe get to some mental health. We'll start with baseball. The Royals and Cubs are off today. The Cardinals win 2 out of 3, but are still 12-6. Tonight for the Cardinals, it'll be Andre Putt at Cincinnati, and Nick Martinez will start for the Reds. That game is underway. Or that game is warm-ups. Free game of the MLB game of the day on MLB app. Now we'll go through the MLB standings to give you a short update on what's going on in baseball. The New York Yankees lead the AL East at 17-11. The Boston Red Sox fall right behind them at 16-14. The Tampa Bay Rays are 14-14, and Toronto Blue Jays are at 13-15. The Baltimore Orioles are in last with a 10-17 record. Orioles made the playoffs last year, so did the New York Yankees. With an 81 record, did not make it last season. But they are in second now. And now we move on to the AL Central at 18-10. The Detroit Tigers, who just barely missed out on the playoffs. The Cleveland Guardians are 15-12. They were winners last year. They are 2.5 games back. Royals 14-15, 4.5 games back. Minnesota Twins 12-16, 6 games back. And Chicago White Sox 7-21, 11 games back. In the AL West, the Seattle Mariners lead the division at 16-12. Texas Rangers 18-13. The Houston Astros, who the Royals just beat in a series 2-1, 14-13. Athletics 14-14. Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim 12-15. The New York Mets 19-9 lead the East. Philadelphia Phillies 15-13. Washington Nationals 13-15. The Atlanta Braves 12-15. And the Miami Marlins 12-15. The Chicago Cubs are trying to get into playoffs this year at 17-12. The Cincinnati Reds fall right behind them at 15-13. The Milwaukee Brewers, who won the division last year, have faltered back so far this year at 14-15. The St. Louis Cardinals been right around where they said they would be, not maybe a little worse, 12-16. Pittsburgh Pirates 11-18, 6 games back. And in the best division in baseball, the San Francisco Giants lead the division at 19-10. The Los Angeles Dodgers 18-10. San Diego Padres 17-11. All these teams with a half a game of the Dodgers and with a 1.5 games back of the Giants is the San Diego Padres. The Arizona Diamondbacks 15-13, 3.5 games back. The Colorado Rockies, who got swept by the Royals earlier in the week, last week, who sit at 4-23 with the worst record in baseball. The St. Louis Blues beat the Winnipeg Jets. Series is even at 2 before going back to Winnipeg. St. Louis Blues win 5-1. And also, in yesterday's action, Hurricanes beat the Devils 5-2. Carolina Hurricanes lead the New Jersey Devils 3-1. The Washington Capitals and the Canadiens. Washington Capitals lead the series 3-1 and win last night 5-2. And the Oilers and Oilers answer with a goal in the overtime 4-3. Series is tied at 2. For tonight's games, Lightning will play the Panthers. That series is 2-1 Panthers. Leader in points for the Panthers is Sam Reinhart with 81. And Nikita Kucherov leads them with 121 points. That face-off is tonight at 6. At 8:30, the Stars will play the host to the Avalanche. That series is tied up at 2. 8:30 from Dallas, ESPN. And in the NBA, tonight, we'll do the first tonight, and then we'll go over the NBA last night. The Cavaliers and Heat. The Cavaliers lead 3-0. Donovan Mitchell leads the Cavs in points, and Tyler Hero leads the Heat in points with 23.9, and the Donovan Mitchell with 24.0. 6:30 tip-off. Series is 3-0. Cleveland again has a chance of the sweep. The Rockets and the veteran Warriors at 9 o'clock. Stephon Curry, the veteran, and Jalen Green, also players to watch out for. Game time 9 o'clock. And on Sunday, the Knicks grabbed it over the Pistons 94-93. New York leads 3-1. The Lakers and Timberwolves. The Lakers run out of energy, losing 116-113. The Lakers got outscored 32-19 in the fourth quarter, losing a big lead. And 107-98 as the Celtics take a 3-1 lead. And the Pacers and Bucks. Pacers, Mason Turner leads them with 23. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 28, but it was not at all enough for the Bucks. And that's the NBA. Bills GM gets testy with a radio host draft. Commanders reach a deal for $4 billion on a stadium.
Breaking news, sources tell 7 News a deal has been reached for a new NFL stadium at the old RFK Stadium site in Northeast D.C. We expect to learn more today about this deal that's been years in the making.
Yeah, it's of course been a hot topic in the DMV for years. Many wanting to see the Commanders return to playing in D.C., while others question who is going to foot the bill. 7 News is on your side with team coverage of this breaking story. John Rogers standing by at the alert desk with a look at what led up to this announcement. Well, let's start with Joy Wang.
She is live at the old RFK Stadium site. So, Joy, this is far from a done deal.
Yeah, that's right. There are a number of major hurdles, and the D.C. Council, they will need to approve details of this deal. So here's what we know so far. 7 News, we've been reporting on the ongoing negotiations between Mayor Muriel Bowser as well as the ownership group of the Commanders. And along with it, 7 News has independently confirmed that a deal has been reached. So what are some details of that deal? Well, those details are still very much a wait and see. The Washington Post reporting that we're expected to hear from the mayor and Commanders principal owner Josh Harris today. Meanwhile, Congress, they acted in December to give D.C. greater control over the 174-acre RFK campus, paving the way for this deal. While there's been support from many Commanders fans, some D.C. residents have already made their voices known they're against the project, including a citywide ballot initiative to prohibit the deal and put affordable housing there instead. The No Billionaires Playground Coalition says public subsidies would be an irresponsible use of district dollars. Meanwhile, Mayor Bowser has said taxpayer funding shouldn't be off the table. In fact, just last Wednesday, she posted this on X, saying the sports economy isn't just fun and games, it's dollars and cents. Take a listen.
Washington sports team should play in Washington. The sports economy, sometimes it gets minimized to like fun and games, but it's dollars and cents. We have to shift our economy. We have to be committed to tough decisions that change the business environment here.
Back to some of those major hurdles, including the D.C. Council. 7 News reached out to Chairman Phil Mendelson's office, and they provided this statement saying the chairman's position continues to be, quote, the cost to the district will be at least $856 million, and I continue to be concerned with investing any public money into a stadium while we have constrained budgets and revenues and unmet needs. Meanwhile, Commanders owner Josh Harris, he has called this old RFK Stadium site the spiritual home of the Commanders. Whether that spiritual home at this old RFK Stadium site could be a new home at a new stadium, we'll have to wait and see. Live outside the RFK Stadium, Joy Wang, 7 News.
Joey, thanks. I'm John Rogers here at the Alert Desk, and this morning I'm taking you on a trip down memory lane. What was then known as DC Stadium actually opened in October 1961. It cost $24 million, and JFK was in attendance as Washington lost to the Giants that day. 1969, it was renamed for Robert F. Kennedy, known now as Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium. 1986, the ownership transferred from the federal government to the district. Then 10 years later, after 36 seasons, Washington played their final game at RFK, beating the Cowboys. Then 2018, that's when DC United left RFK. It's been empty ever since. 2019, that's when DC Events announced that demolition plans were underway. And then this year, 2025, that's when the demolition is now going on. Adam?
All right, thanks, John. Well, this brings us to the topic of our morning poll. Scan the QR code on your screen to let us know, do you want the Commanders to move to the old RFK Stadium site or stay where they are at Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland? Right now, 71% of you support the move back to D.C. Go ahead and vote in our poll, and we'll be keeping tabs on the results all morning long. And stay with 7 News as we expect to learn more about this deal for a new stadium later this morning. You can look for updates here on air and online at WJLA.com. And to see all of our past reporting, just go to our site and search RFK Stadium.
Port of Missouri lays up to 30th. Kansas State is unranked, and I don't rank. Is ranked worse, and I don't even know where they're at. Judge drops charges against Mario Chalmers in a March Madness suit. Other Kansas players to follow, but they have dropped those charges. It's why the hell not? They pay them anyways. Nowadays. We'll go over Notre Dame and local teams in Missouri and Kansas State, how they replace football players that were drafted in the NFL. And that's Sam Vaughn Sports.